Yo, hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be changing the board. So the clients have just bought this house and we are going to be changing the board. So it's a 17th edition split load board that's in. The weird thing about it is that somebody's only loaded up one side. No idea why. So they just bought it, so we're here to change the board, bring it up to date and find out what the hell is going on. If you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do so. Link is in this corner down here. Smash that for me and let's take you inside. So this job particular, I've not actually quoted it, so I've not physically been out, so this is the first time I'm actually looking inside the meter cupboard. So we've got a TNCS system, by the looks of it we've got a 100 amp incomer. It's not a shared supply, and we've got our 16mm earth bonding and 25mm meter tails. So far so good. So we're just inside the entrance hallway, and this is where obviously the consumer unit is located. So like I say, it's an old 17th edition board. Obviously, so the 17th edition's plastic, split load, all the rest of it, it's fine, it's CPN board. So if you notice here, so we've got the RCD is down one side, so all these have just been scrubbed off, and then we've just got the one side on. So I can just about read, no idea what that is. That's upstairs lights, cooker, sockets, downstairs lights and doorbell. So the clients just asked me this morning to get rid of the doorbell. That's fine, not a problem, but I'm intrigued to know why that has been done that way. So what we're going to do, we'll get you set up and then I'll take that cover off and we'll have a look together. Okay, so first things first, I've noticed that the lid cover's not actually on properly for some reason. So somebody has done a EICR of some sort, but there's nothing, it's not on properly basically. There's no more to it. Oh, wow, that is a bird's nest. Right, okay, let's bring you in a bit closer so you can have a look at this. Okay, so I think we'll go through this together. So initial thoughts, it's a mess. So I don't know how else to put that. So this one here is obviously still, it's been turned off for whatever reason. I've got multiple joints in here. Yeah, not great. So wrong sizing of CPCs for cable size, sorry, what am I about? It's all right, it just sort of took me back how bad this is, really messy. So I've got no CPC to that, which is that anyway, so that's fine, we'll get rid of that. Lots and lots of joints, lots and lots and lots of joints, what a mess. In fairness, what a mess. So exposed copper. So this one here, which is upstairs lights, we've got two lots shoehorned in. So obviously not terminated correctly, if you can see in there. Yeah, bit of a mess. So what I'm going to do, I think for me, I think I'll strip this out so I can sort of decipher what's going on. Try and tidy some of this up straight away. Because it's weird. So all these neutrals, by the looks of it, have all been extended. So there's absolutely tons and tons and tons of joints in here. Not off to a great start. Okay, so as with anything, all power's all off now. I've isolated all that out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip it all out. So I've marked it all up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these circuits here, which were already off, not entirely sure why they're off, but that socket, there's a socket literally just sort of down there, that's not working, so that potentially could be one of those. But I think let's clear the wood for the trees, so we'll get that all stripped out and try and figure out what is going on and try and make this as neat as possible. But obviously, you know, you are polishing the proverbial, you know what I'm saying. So let's get it stripped out. I mean, that's a brilliant start on the main switch, not even clipped in properly. loose. Loose, that's the mains earth is loose as well. Brilliant. What a mess. Okay, so I've got a plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop the plaster out here. So the board will come to literally just the bottom here. So we're using a BG Fortress board. What I might end up doing, because we've got our earth bonding is really tight, I don't think we're going to get that. It's really weird because the meter tails come straight through the garage. So what I'm going to do, I think that's my plan now anyway, is going to chop this up, give me a bit more slack, gets rid of all the joints, and then I can re-drill for the meter tails and redo all those and put an MET on for all the earth bonding. So that's my plan, and that's what I'm going to do. Start chopping out and getting that board mounted. Been a bit of a pain, in fairness. So we've chased that up, we've got some more length on those cables, so that should be fine now, so that takes care of that. The meter tails though, so I'm going to take you around to the garage side. I've had to redo the drilling and all that sort of stuff to get that on, but what it's then meant to do is it's actually ended up having it in a much better position for the job. So we're going to get rid of all the joints. See, one of the things that is concerning me about this is that you've got this single that they've used the CPC line as a neutral. So I need to trace that, but I think it goes out towards the garage lights anyway. So we'll go around the other side and have a look. The meter tails come through this end. So what I've done is I've just pulled everything back out of this trunk in here. There was another random cable that was coming through into the board, which is now, as I've discovered, there's a double socket here, which is, that's what that is, so that's okay. So we can take care of that one now. We'll get that back into the board and stuff, but now I am going to seal all the back of that, because obviously, as you remember, there's a big massive hole, so there's going to be a big, I'm going to seal all of that, because obviously I don't want any potential fire risk going up the cavity, things like that, so that'll all be filled. So the actual meter cupboard itself is literally here, so we should be able to just bring them straight through, get rid of them old meter tails. In fairness, if they were long enough, it wouldn't matter, so we could just redo them, but they're literally like 10 inches too short. So, you know, it's one of them, innit? What can you do? So we'll sort all that out. We are going to have to put a main earthing terminal on, because we can't extend all the bonding and all that lot. We're not going to be able to get that through. So yeah, it's getting there, but obviously it just took a bit longer. I can't really talk today. Taking a little bit longer, so it's fine. I'm just going to have a bite to eat now, and then get all those breakers in, I think. Oh, on a side note, so the board that we're using, it's a BG Fortress board, full RCBOs with a SPD. So I just thought I'd point that out to you, which you'd have probably gathered anyway, as you've seen a little bit further on. So, like I say, the meter tails, I always use flexi tails on here. It just makes life a lot easier than the traditional ones. So if you are wondering why I'm using these anyway, is they are sort of standard go-to. One of the other things I'd like to point out is today's sponsor. So today's sponsor is Tradeify. So Tradeify, if you don't know what it is, it's job management software. We've been using it for a few years. So I know I keep banging on about it, but it is genuinely that good. We've did a 14-day free trial, which is hopefully what you guys are going to do if you haven't tried it already. The link will be in the description below. If you like it, use the promo code GHAWK50, you'll get 50% off for the first 3 months. So, about Tradeify, So for like here on this particular job, then obviously the meter tails was not down on the original job because I hadn't even seen it. So I'm going to jump in the van when I have a bite to eat and amend that quote before obviously I have to leave. So yeah, so it's very, very good. So try it. Like I say, you won't be disappointed. It is what it is. Okay, so board's all wrapped up now. So what I've had to do is rewire the actual the garage circuits. We've figured out what that is. Also, two of the circuits before that was on the other side of the RCD that wasn't actually connected. So one of them is the socket that's down here. So that's sorted now. So we've got some power on. So we rewired the garage one. We've rewired the meter tails, sorted all the earthing arrangement out as well. So I'll show you that out in a minute. So I've just rattled through all the testing for the house. So I'm just going to quickly go around and just finalise my certification and get all that sorted. And then we're on to labelling basically there. So considering how much of a mess that was before, it's in a lot better condition now than what it was. So there is some issues. I'll go through those with you in a minute. But yeah, so I'll get the cover on, get it all labelled up, and then I'll sit in the van and we'll go through all the issues. So the meter tails, right? So basically the gist of it was the meter tails weren't long enough. They were only about sort of 10 inches too short, should I say. So I've also, the location of them, so I've drilled up at a slightly set angle over that way to get them through into the back of the board. The other thing is, like on that RCD on the left hand side, the garage wasn't turned on for whatever reason, and also the socket down there. Also my earthing wasn't long enough, some was cut as well, so we sorted all that lot out. So I've ended up rewiring the meter tails because obviously it needed to for lengthwise, and also rewiring this socket down here. So that is taken care of. So now they've got a socket in this house, in the garage, that's all sorted. So that's fine. So big house, right? It is a big house, and I've only got one ring for the whole house. Okay, so when you do the calculations, not brilliant. Also, not only that, the end-to-end results for my CPC is too high as well, so that's another thing that, you know, it needs to be sorted. The IR on it has only just scraped through, so that's not great. Now there is plans potentially to do an extension and stuff out the back, okay, so that's part and parcel of it. So there's that. There's also this lighting shindig, you know, where they're using the CPC as the neutral. That needs further investigation. The lighting circuits, the upstairs has also failed on insulation resistance. Now there is some downlights as well. Downlights in the bathroom, they're non-IP rated. They need sorting. So there's quite a few things. So I'm going to have a chat with the clients in a minute about how they want to go moving forward. Now, if they wanted all the building work done, so this is where I'll be interested in the comments. What would you do? So the house, I'm going to give it a little background. The house is early 80s, okay? So it's not mega old, but it's early 80s. They are doing extensive building work potentially. So if, I'm going to put two scenarios out. If they are going to have the building work, what I would probably suggest is to rewire the house and get it all nice and done. Or do we just repair what we've got and then put new circuits for those anyway? Because I certainly don't want to be adding to them, but still need to do fault finding. So it's a tough one, isn't it? What would you do? What would you guys do? you know, I'd be really interested to know how you do it. So the MET as well, so the main earthing terminal as well. So what I've also done is I've put that inside the meter cupboard now, because I managed to trace everything back. So you can see here we've got earth bonding and stuff coming through. So I've redirected that one, that goes back into there. So we've put our own MET in there, which again tidies everything else up. Got gas bonding over here, so gas bonding's all sorted. Yeah, so quite a few bits. So I'm just going to go and do my final testing. We've got the boards all labelled up. Don't need to see that because we've been through it. So there's a cut. Oh, that was another thing as well. So I'm trying to do this without looking at my notes. But so the water heater as well is just fed by a fuse spur. It's not a 20 amp switch. Also, the size of the cable going out to the actual immersion heater is undersized for the load capacity on there. So like I say, a few little bits. So we're going to go around, finalise my last few testing now, and do some more visuals. Yeah, and we'll jump back in a minute. Right, so we're going to go through some of the findings that we've got. So water heater is fed from a switch spur. Okay, so that needs a 20 amp switch on there. Water heater cable, so to the immersion heater itself is the wrong size. It's way too small for what it needs to be. Ring finals, CPCs are, so the results on there are too high, so it should be calculated, because it is actually a ring, so it should be calculated around about 0.9 and we're like 2 point something or other. So all the socket contacts as well are way too worn. So you know, it's like when you go to an older socket and you put it in and it's literally, you can just move it around, it just almost falls in and out. So that's on every single one because they're all old. So they're just old and worn. Okay, so we've got security light that's smashed at the back, so water can ingress in there. We've also got a socket in the bedroom which is just insecure, sort of flapping off the wall. Bathroom downlights are non-IP rated in there, so they're not great. So there's also, I've noted down that there's insufficient sockets for every room, so there's like extension leads everywhere, and I mean everywhere. Okay, so upstairs lighting, insulation resistance has failed, so that is massively failed on its backside. Also my measured ZS values for the sockets is also too high. So there are some other bits and bobs. Now, I'm going to give you a little background on the actual job. So they've just bought it. They've asked us as well to quote for an extension out the back. Not a massive one, but an extension nonetheless. So I've just had a little meeting with the customers and gone through everything. Oh, sorry. Also, so the cables as well. So for the lighting cables, they're singles. So one of the cables that's going back to the board, which leads out towards the garage lights, is actually using the CPC as a neutral, so it actually hasn't got a CPC for that lot as well, so there's those as well. Insulation resistance values on the sockets have just scraped through as well. They're not massively, you know, bombed through, they are literally just scraping by the skin of their teeth. And there's bits and bobs like that. Now, so I just had a meeting with a customer and I've said, look, you know, I can repair it all. Not a problem, we can get through it, work through the issues, bearing in mind that whenever we, you know, if we do the extension, all those circuits in that bit will definitely be new. We're not, so, or you can rewire the house. So there's only one socket circuit and it's a big house, it's like a 4-bedroom house. So it's big, you know, and it's only got one circuit. So I don't want to be adding additional sockets to an already struggling circuit. Now, the CPC results, I can probably get those down once I change all the socket fronts and all the rest of it, get all those down. So it is a bit of a tough one for me personally and professionally, it is a bit of a tough one because I can repair it, but also this is going to be their forever home. This is their last home. They don't want to be messing about too much. So do we rewire? It's a really, really tough one. So I have said, look, what I'd probably suggest I'm doing is I'll price for a rewire see how that feels, if that's where you think it's going to be, because they had inklings before, because they've uncovered a few things as they've moved in, that this may be the case anyway. If that sits okay, what I would do if it was my house, then I'd be looking at, do you know what, every room needs to be decorated anyway. So they're going through the whole house. It needs new kitchen, new bathrooms, literally everything. So if you're going to be doing that, it needs a new central heating system as well. So it's massive. So they are undertaking some huge works. So me personally, I would rewire it, make sure it's all right. But I just wanted to point out that I have offered to repair as well. But bearing in mind, it's a 30+ year installation that has had very, very poor maintenance done it by the previous owners. So yeah, so hopefully you've enjoyed this video. It's a little bit of a different one. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do, and we shall see you on the next one. So the next job for me is, I've got a very, very, very busy day running round. I think I've got 3 jobs to get done in the day, and also it's, yeah, busy. I'm going to be honest, it's busy at the minute. So whatever you're doing, do it well. See you on the next one.